Ryan Perillat with CanFax at the Beef and Forage Day here at Arborg, Manitoba. Great presentation this morning. We're talking about cattle prices, obviously. Lots of slides, so I'm not going to ask you about numbers. Let's talk about what you said, and this is, of course, we're hearing a lot of this in the industry about, you know, the cow herd liquidating, downsizing, smaller. The fundamentals are there to start expanding. Maybe it's happening in the U.S. Why is it not happening in Canada?
Oh, good question, and it's a little bit hard. It caught us a bit by surprise in 2013, to be honest. We kind of thought we would start to grow. The signals have been there. They're maybe not as strong as we'd like them to be. You know, I often look, it's not just the price, but it's the price relative to your expectations. So if our prices weren't as high as we expected them to be, it's kind of a negative, it's a bit of a negative story that way. And to be honest, our prices aren't much higher than a year ago. And the country of origin labeling, discount, uncertainty, you know, how willing are guys to invest or risk more into more cows and such. So, and you know, I think a lot of the guys, this grain thing is going to be the big play going forward. You know, it's, you know, we've always been at a disadvantage. Cows have been profitable, but not as profitable as grain. You know, we look at some of the marginal land and things. I'm hoping we can see a little bit more thought go into the feasibility of a cow-calf production and such going forward. 2013 was a tough year. It started pretty negative with a tough winter. Prices, again, weren't, last year guys with background in calves didn't do well holding cattle, and we've seen guys liquidate and sell. And just not quite the confidence yet to go hard into expansion.
So, and you also mentioned that maybe the ranchers that are going to expand probably already have.
Yeah.
So my question then is this a new normal? Are we maybe not going to expand? Is this where we're going to, have we reached a new status quo that we just stick with?
Well, you know, I've sort of raised that question of thought before. I guess, you know, the U.S. has had a declining herd, I think, 14 of the last 16 years. You know, Canada's had a very rapid decline in about 6 or 7 years. You know, anything's possible. I'm not going to, you know, say we're not going to expand. At some point you got to expand. You can't shrink forever. But at just how low do you go is sort of the question. You know, there's a lot of positive things out there for the cow-calf producer in terms of profitability, price projections, lower feed costs, or a more regular feed cost, softer dollar. I think if, you know, all of that comes together, we could have a very strong 2014. And I think, and if grain stays under pressure, you would think we would turn. We're getting close to a bottom, but never say never.
Right. Now, certainly mandatory country of origin labeling still weighing. We talked a bit about sort of how that's impacted basis, where that sort of sits. Is there anything that producers, let's say a cow-calf producer, could be doing to hedge against that a little bit, against that super wide basis?
It's a pretty tough one for the cow-calf producer in terms of risk management. The only thing we always say, and it's the same opportunities that are always there that I don't get utilized a lot, but you look at today right now when we've got the dollar under pressure, futures, you know, very strong or quite strong. It's always a good marketing time. You know, if you're feeding calves right now, there's, you know, you can deliver, or you can market calves today to deliver in March if that's when you normally sell them. Look at some opportunities to market cattle now when the markets seems to be turning up or is fairly hot. So those kind of things, you can lock in some prices. Because COOL, yeah, if it doesn't stay, you know, that basis is definitely going to likely stay weaker. Hopefully not weaken out too much more. But, you know, look for alternatives. In Manitoba especially, you know, you've got interest to Eastern Canada, United States, Alberta. Look around, market your calves, and look for opportunities.
And so that actually plays into my last question. You mentioned the app that CanFax has and working on. How much of a mindset shift would it be to sell a calf before it's born? Because of course you sort of liken it to the grain industry where, you know, farmers will sell grain they haven't planted yet. Yep. How much of a leap is it to sell a calf you haven't yet actually seen hit the ground? It's
pretty big. You know, some guys, I think they snicker or their eyes glaze over when I talk. Let's just mention that. It's a thought, right? It's to get guys thinking that marketing can happen today. That can be months down the road when you can take advantage of a soft dollar or a strong futures market. Feedlots, there's a shortage of cattle. They're in the cow-calf guys in the driver's seat for, you know, making some agreements or some leverage on marketing cattle. Why not start marketing cattle long before you actually deliver or have them ready to sell, sort of thing. So it'll take some time, but again, the grain industry guys have done it. It's a little bit tough in scaling it and that, unless you're a really large producer that can market, kind of pot loads, as if those are the guys you're going to be dealing with. There's some challenges there, but we got to start somewhere, so at least start thinking about it.
All right. Okay. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thanks, Lyndsey.